so we're waiting on the doctor right now, and then he has to get a few shots for his health certificate. And I'll really kind of like, you know, tell y'all more once I know more, because this is the first time we've had to do kind of like this process. When we went to Mexico, is completely different, and other countries require different things. So I will keep y'all updated on what they need. Okay, okay. Okay, so I wanted to take a minute. So I know the video is going to look a little weird because I thought about this as I was recording, to come back and put this piece at the beginning. So let me explain the process for moving a dog from the US to the UK. Dogs are not allowed in cabin inside the airplane from the US to the UK. Actually, from no country to the UK. The UK does not allow pets in cabin unless they are specifically service animals, not emotional support animals like Jacks. They have to be specifically service animals that provide a service. Okay, so with that in mind, the way dogs, cats, and ferrets come to the UK is they come through, they come via cargo. So they go under the plane. They come under the plane. Me and my puppy, he went under the plane. And then, like, with my honey, he had to put his dogs, they had to be boarded, they had to be shipped separate, da 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 da. Anyway, he was separated from his puppies for like 5 days. My baby, we not doing that, right? So the alternative, if you don't fly them cargo, is to, and it's quite expensive. Now keep in mind, we only saved about $2,000-$3,000 on the process. So kind of like looking back at it now, it's like, if he had been a different type of dog, it probably would have made sense. But given it's my baby. I know this is my baby. So it's like, yeah, it's okay. So the alternative to, if you don't fly them cargo, is to fly into Paris and drive to the UK. A lot of people do it. It was probably five other, I don't even know if it was dogs, but families that were doing the same process as we were coming in. So basically you fly into Paris, And then from Paris, you drive to the UK. And that's the way you work around the cargo issue. Why dogs can't fly in cabin to the UK? Don't know. However, dogs can fly out of the UK in cabin to their another country. Just for some reason, the UK doesn't allow dogs in cabin. So that's the reason why we've had to go on this journey. And so y'all can understand kind of why we are doing all of this. We're back. We got in yesterday around 5 o'clock, I guess. No, it had to be before, like 4. It was like 4:30, I think. Jax, get down. So, all right, so we got in yesterday at like 4:30-ish, right? So I'm going to give y'all the rundown of everything that happened. And I'm going to try and fill in some, like, I got some videos, some of the stuff, and I'm going to fill it in as I can go. But y'all, I'm so tired. Oh my God, I'm so tired. But we got like the basic setup, as y'all can see, like the kitchen. So I shipped boxes over, and my honey has his stuff coming from his house, and it's in a container. So his company paid for everything to be shipped over. However, it takes like 2-ish months for it to come. So that's been like almost 2 months. It'll be like almost 2 months in a week. So like his car and his household goods, like his furniture, TVs, all that other stuff. So I shipped my stuff, like the basics, over to get us set up in the interim. So we have some stuff to get started, and just, you know, the basic everyday life. But I'm gonna give y'all the full rundown on Jax. It's your sister. Oh, kind of how it happened. So the last video clip that I took was we were going to the vet to get his health certificate. When we got there, we learned that we need 2 health certificates. Now, in my research online, in the group I'm in for families that are moving over here, they were saying you don't need 2 health certificates. You only need 1 health certificate. Okay, so I went there to get the health certificate, and they're like, no, you need 2. And I'm like, well, they were telling me I only need the UK one. And they were like, no, you need the Paris one and you need the UK one. And I'm just like, I mean, the EU, European Union, and the UK one. And I was like, yeah, but the group says I only need 1. And they're like, no, well, we're going to email the USDA. They email the USDA. The USDA is like, yeah, technically you need both. However, we have knowledge that it depends on who you get at the gate. That will determine whether or not you're going to need one or the other. So long story short, I end up paying for 2. With these certificates, you get them and they come back in, like, they usually come back next day, right? So, or they come back in the shipping you pay for. Chloe, stop. Chloe, stop. Or they come back in a certificate that you pay for. So the Jax, stop. It comes back in the shipping that you pay for. So we paid for overnight next day air shipping. All right. So you got to pay, we had to pay for 2 separate certificates. We had to pay 2 vet fees for 2 certificates. We had to pay 2 USDA certification fees, and we had to pay for 2 overnight air shipping fees, right? So we went on Wednesday. We flew on Saturday. So theoretically, if it's overnight next day, it's gonna come the next day. Say, okay, cool. The people get the cool $1,500 out of me. But by the end of the day, I spent $1,500. All right. Had only planned to spend literally $700. Okay, $1,500. Cool. We come out of there. Jax has everything he needs. So this is Wednesday. We go about our day on Wednesday. We're still preparing, you know, getting everything together. And then Thursday comes. All day, I'm like, Janai, look out the front window. Janai, look out the front window. Is there a package there? Is there a package there? Is there a package there? Nothing. all day Thursday. So Friday comes, I wake up early in the morning, I check the shipping, the shipping information. Nothing. Nothing. So I've been waking up because my schedule was so jacked up from the time shift from going and then going back to the US and then coming back to UK, like to the US. Like my whole schedule was just so messed up, my sleep schedule. So I had been waking up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait it out and I'm going to see if, you know, I'm going to wait it out until everybody wakes up. And so I'm going to email the vet. I'm going to check and see what USDA has, whatever, like whatever. So by the time I wake up on Friday, I had to move, y'all. The glare was so bad. So I had to move, y'all. Okay, so on Friday, I'm waiting for the vet office to open. And I'm reaching out to them like, yo, where's the paperwork at? You know, where's everything at? And they're like, okay, let us call you back. We have to get in contact with the USDA. They were like, you haven't received it yet? I was like, no. I was like, and the tracking shows that UPS doesn't even have the package yet. So, you know, and my thing is sometimes the tracking will show that something is not moving and it's moving or whatever. So we said it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, okay, cool. So they're like, okay, we're still trying to hear back from USDA. You know, what time do you have to leave just so we can like know what's going on, whatever, right? So I give them our flight information, all that good stuff. And I'm reaching out to UPS myself and they're like, yeah, we don't have possession of the packets or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, okay, let me just go. I had to ship like another box or something. But let me go just run my errands and try to like keep in mind, you know, that everything is going to be okay. And like 10 o'clock, the dog start barking, go to the front door. There's a package there, right? Open the package up and I'm like, oh, okay, open it up. It is the one for the European Union. That's the health certificate that I have. No UK health certificate. Of all the health certificates that we absolutely needed, it was the UK health certificate. The UK requires that dogs have the tapeworm, Drontal administration within 5 days of shipping. Okay. The European Union, I think, is 10 days, and they don't require the Drontal, which is like a tapeworm drop. They don't require that. I'm like, okay, so they're messaging back and forth. They're like, oh, they're going to get it out. They're going to get it out. They're going to get it out. They give me a new shipping tracking number. And I'm like, okay. It ships at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At this point, I'm acknowledging I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get this package. It was not, it was too late to confirm it for next day delivery in the morning. It was just like, okay, this is what it is. So I'm calling UPS. UPS is telling me, oh, you can buy an overnight airmail guaranteed Saturday delivery, but you have to ship it to us. You have to fax it to us. And then we have to print it and get it on your package before it moves to the next truck or plane, because it was an air delivery. They was like, however, it's scheduled to be moved right now. So we don't know. You would have to do it like right now. And we can't guarantee that you're going to buy this and it's going to get on there. So this is probably like 6 o'clock at night. We're coming to this. I'm like trying to figure it out. At this point, I didn't cry like 10 times. My best friend is like, he can stay here. And I'm like, he can't stay here. And she's like, he can stay here. I'm like, he can't stay here. He has to go with us. Like, I cannot leave him here. He has to go with us. So at this point, I'm trying to think of everything. Y'all know I know some fraudsters and some scammers. And I'm thinking, do I know somebody that can get me? Do I know somebody in USDA? I go to thinking. I don't know anybody that work at USDA. I go to thinking like, oh my God, it's like I gotta know somebody. I never felt so defeated in my life. I usually know somebody that works somewhere everywhere. Like, and I'm just like, I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody that works anywhere that could like give me, like can help me with any of this. So I'm like, oh man. So again, my best friend, shout out to my best friend. She's like, he can stay, you know, until you, whatever, you figure it out. You come back, you get him. It's no big deal. He's not a problem. And I'm like, I can't leave my baby. Like I had already left him with her while I was like over here for like 2 weeks. I was like, I cannot leave him again. And like by like day maybe 4 of being here, I was like, I miss my puppy. I was already missing Janai because she was with her dad for so long. I mean, it's their summer break, but I was like, I need both my kids back. I just got Janai off the plane. I was like, I need both my kids back. So Saturday comes. Let's fast forward. Saturday comes. It's time to fly. I wake up in the morning. I check it. It has gone from. It was in Wisconsin, and I looked it up. I said, hey, I looked it up. It was like 5 and something hours. I was like, I can drive and get it. They're like, oh, they don't know. The guy was like, I already checked. It's not a location that you can pick up from. So then when I woke up Saturday morning, I don't even say woke up because I barely slept. When I checked Saturday morning, it was in Louisville, Kentucky. I looked, it was an hour and 50 minutes away. So I'm calling UPS like, yo, can I come pick it up? They were like, that's not you can't, it's not a open facility. It's just a sorting facility. Like you can't go in there. They don't have any like hours. I'm like, oh, okay. They were like, maybe when it gets to Indianapolis, you can get it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm checking it, but I'm still going about my day because I'm trying to coordinate. Like I'm trying to make sure that we're still on time and on track to still catch our flight, hoping we don't have to catch it without him. So in that time frame, I get to thinking like, you know what? I have the Paris certificate. I got the EU certificate for us to fly into Paris. I'm saying to myself, they said if they don't have the proper certificate, that they're going to, if they don't have the proper certificate, they get quarantined. So I get to thinking, I mean, if he get quarantined, at least he's, at least we on the same side of the world, right? So I'm like, if they don't take this paperwork, because then they were like, I saw them out, they were saying like, nobody even asked me for paperwork, right? So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, if he gets quarantined, at least he's quarantined in England. Like at least he's quarantined close to me. He's not like clear across the world. And so, and also in addition to the fact that we had to pay for a driver to pick us up and drive us from Paris to London, we had to pay for like the pet fee for him to ride on the Eurotunnel. We had to pay for so many things specifically for him. It's like, listen, the flight, you know, we had to pay for so many things. It's like, okay, at least we can get him to that point. He might not get all the way to the house, but at least he can get close enough, you know, like he can get over there. So I'm starting to say that, but at this point in my mind, I'm like 90%. I'm taking my dog with me. I'm taking my dog. I don't care. I'm taking my dog. So we go through, and I'm still calling UPS. UPS is in Indianapolis at this point. I'm calling them. They're like, it's Saturday. They don't work on Saturdays. But let me see. I'm telling them, like, it's important medical documents. It is. Medical documents for a dog, but still important medical documents. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm proceeding for it. Whether I get this UK form or not, I'm taking this EU form and I'm running with it. Like this is gonna at least get us on the plane and get us to Paris. Like I'm good. So I start looking at Airbnbs. Like, okay, if it comes, so it was scheduled to come Monday. So yeah, it was scheduled to come on Monday. So I'm thinking, okay, if we stay there, we get it express overnighted on Monday. So we'll probably have it, if not the 5th, we'll have it on the 6th, and then we can cross on the 7th. I'm thinking, okay, we just need to find us an Airbnb. We stay in Paris a couple days. No big deal. I look online. If anybody is wanting, Paris is very dog friendly. They have tons of dog friendly hotels. And so I was like, okay, cool. It is what it is. We're in Paris for a couple days. That's if we get there, and we can't finesse with the EU paperwork to get him into the UK, then we're in Paris for a couple days, or he gets quarantined. Whichever it is, either way, the dog is going to Paris, right? Because we got his paperwork to get him into the EU. We just don't have his paperwork to get him into the UK. So I'm like, okay. So then the vet emails me. And the vet is like, hey, his certificate is filed. However, you can use this one, which she emails me the digital copy of the health certificate. The health certificate has to have this embossing on it. Let me go get it so y'all can see the difference. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can, make sure I got my information blocked out. Y'all see how it has this embossing on it? This is the seal. That's the seal that they wanted. So this one right here is for the European Union. This one right here that I printed out, cover my address up. Y'all see this one? It says Great Britain Channel Islands, Channel Isle of Man or something like that. Y'all see that? There's nothing on here. That's because I printed this off the computer. So what I did was I took the one that had the seal on it and I put it on the top. Okay. So when the vet reached out to me and she was like, this isn't the official one. It doesn't have the official seal, but you can try. Janai's mug was the only one I could find. So, so when the vet told me that, I was like, oh, baby, that put a battery in my back. I was like, cool. She was like, it's not the official one, but you can try and see how it works out. And I'm like, that's all that little bit. At least I could print out. At least I could print out the form. It didn't have the official seal on it because that one was somewhere with UPS. At least I had the one for the UK. At least I had the certificate. So there's a certificate number that you can put in at the USDA and they can verify, you know, they can verify that all this other stuff or whatnot, you know, that the dog or cat or whatever had all the stuff that they needed or whatnot. And so I was like, okay, cool. You know, that's it. That was it. At that point, all the word had went out because I had been crying. I had cried so many times thinking about leaving my dog. Like, y'all know that's my baby. I could not imagine leaving him. So, cool. It is what it is. We kept on going. Like, nothing changed. You know, like nothing changed. We didn't change like, oh, we had to do this, and that. Like, literally, once I went to FedEx and printed that off, I was like, all right, I'm cool. I'm cool at this point. I put it in his folder with his rabies shot and all this other, you know, stack of paperwork. I got verifying his, you know, his health and all that other stuff from the vet. I put it all in that envelope with the FedEx, the UPS envelope with the EU seal, and we headed out to Chicago. We got to Chicago. We got checked in. Jax has like a backpack. If y'all watch from Mexico, Jax has this backpack. It's a travel approved backpack or whatever. That's what he's been traveling in. And we get there, we get checked in at the front. Everybody's, oh, such a good boy, you know, woo, woo, woo. We get there, we get checked in at the front, we get through security, and we get to our gate. We get to our gate, and some man comes up to me and he's like, the dog cannot travel in that backpack. And I'm like, what? That is not I said, it's an approved carrier. That is not, it's a backpack. It's not an approved carrier. He was like, how would he ride in that? He will sit up. It doesn't go under the seat. I said, it doesn't sit up. I say, it lays to the side. And then he lays and it goes under the seat. That's how he travels. He was like, no. I was like, get a supervisor. Get a supervisor because we're not about to do this. We're at the gate. They're boarding. Okay? They're boarding. You know, we're group 3. They're on group 2. We're not about to do this, buddy. Get a supervisor. Supervisor comes over and she's like, oh, it's a backpack. Oh, I got the vents on the side. Oh, okay. The man didn't even look at it. He just saw it was a backpack and said he didn't realize. He didn't care to ask. He just wanted to tell me no. She's like, oh, okay. All right, yeah, it's no problem or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Then she starts showing me her dogs. She got 2 little black fluffy dogs and tell me about how she came in late and they wanted to go out. Girl. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they're boarding. We get up to go. Get on the plane. The woman's like, oh, yeah, I was told no dog in a backpack. It's not a backpack, it's a dog carrier. She was like, yeah, I don't, I was just told not. The guy over there told me. The same guy. Mind you, I said, well, the supervisor in the brown sweater, she told me that it was okay for my dog to get on the plane. Well, they didn't tell me anything, so I'm so sorry. I'm just going to have to hold you up. I'm like, do what you got to do. She was like, yeah, they said it was going to bring you another carrier. I said, y'all want the dog to cooperate on the plane? Why would y'all put him in another carrier that's going to smell like another dog or whatever? Like, this is what he is accustomed to getting in. Like, I said, okay, whatever. You know, at this point, I don't care. I'm taking my dog with me. So we're standing there, and so she has, like, she couldn't leave, so she had somebody else go over there, and they're like, oh, the dog can go, it's fine. She's like, oh, okay, you can get on the plane now. So we get on the plane. I'm like, okay. So we had the middle seat and the window seat. And I'm like, okay. We're on there, and the door's closed. Nobody sat in the aisle seat. I said, okay, cool. Okay, cool. I say, listen, when the plane takes off tonight and nobody comes to this seat, you sit in the aisle seat. We put Jax in the middle seat and we roll it out. And y'all, that's what we did. We rolled out. And so, like, the flight attendant, she comes by. She's so nice. She's like, hey, listen, he's technically supposed to be under the seat, but, you know, he's a good baby. And I hate to see him under the seats anyway. I wouldn't want my baby under there. So as long as he's good and nobody says anything, he can stay there. Whole flight. He rode. I think I got a picture. He rode whole flight. He had his head out his carrier, laying on the pillow. And that's how we got to Paris. So that part was smooth. We get to Paris. Paris airport is a MF. Like, it is, I don't know. It's crazy in there. But it's straightforward. Like, everything is very direct. Everything was just, it was big, but it was easy. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, some airports are big and confusing. It was big and easy. We got in. We went to passport control. We got our stamps. We got stamped in. Nobody asked for paperwork on the dog. We got stepped in. We go get our suitcases. We go through clearance. Nobody asked for the dog. We wait in the airport, and we ended up arriving a little earlier. So our driver came, a few minutes later or whatever. We're sitting there the whole time. Nobody asked for a lick of paperwork on this dog. Do you hear me? Nobody asked for a lick of paperwork on this dog. I'm like, all right, so far so good. But Paris is part of European, France is part of the European Union, was not a concern. I have valid paperwork to be here in this country, right? So the driver comes, picks us up, and he's like, hey, it's called Elite Pet Taxi. Lucia and Renee, highly recommend them to anybody that is going to take this route. Okay, so we get there. He's like, hey, do you want to stop for your dog? Because we did take him out and we let him pee on the corner of the building like 2 times just to like relieve himself, but he couldn't like, do his dogly duties. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he was like, yeah, he was like, there's in about 10 minutes, there's a park area, whatever, that you can take your dog so you can do what you got to do. It's like, okay, cool. He was like, all right, yeah. So we get there. He was so nice. He brought us snacks. He brought us water. He was well informed. He kept saying, you need to make any other stops. You need to do this. You need to do that. I kept saying no. Now looking back on it, like, you're going to run us by the Eiffel Tower or whatever. Like, he was really, cool and accommodating. But it's like, no, sir. I just, I'm up here trying to run a finesse on the UK government real quick. Like I just need to see if we can get this through, because the sooner I find out whether we making it all the way through or not, the sooner I am able to, take a sigh, like just like breathe, right? So it was like almost 2.5, 3 hours, something like that, to get from the airport to the checkpoint to take the Eurotunnel, right? So I dozed off briefly and I woke up where there. So they came out to the car. The first thing they did was they checked for the microchip. So your dog has to be microchipped before they receive their rabies vaccination. It's a very strict process, y'all. It's a very strict process. That's the reason why it was like, I got to make it go, because you have to do all these things in order to even get the certificate. And then you have to have the certificate to get into the country, right? The first thing they did was check for his microchip. So they scanned him, beep, his microchip popped up or whatever. And I don't know, I can't remember, because I was kind of like waking up and I was like getting paperwork, and they were just like, the driver was handling everything. Shout out to Renee. He was handling everything. He was like, okay, we're just going to go inside. So we go inside the place. Again, I got the paperwork, and then I do that old school trick. I handed all the paperwork together. So this is the paperwork that I was trying to finesse. So I put the embossed one on top. I put everything else, all the rest of the metal. I handed them all these papers at the same time. I handed all the papers at the same time. I took it. She's flipping. As soon as she sees the embossed one, she's like, okay, this is it right here. And so she takes it and she goes through. She's looking, and she just sees it. She just sees it. She goes through. She flips. I'm checking to see if it has any information on it. Okay, and this is the last page. Y'all see this right here? This is where it was printed off of the printer. Y'all see, no, other thing is, it's a horrible print job too. It printed horrible, but you know what I said? I don't care. So up here is where the seal, the embossed seal would be. Y'all see this thing right here? She stamped that thing, Eurotunnel Pet Reception, and put her initials and her number. I don't know if I might blur that out, because I don't want her to get in trouble, just in case, this get back to somebody. But baby, she stamped that thing, said, okay, thank you. Baby, you would have swear somebody injected my body with, like, I don't know what they injected my body with, but I was happy. I was so freaking happy. So we get in the car, and the guy was like, oh, that was very easy or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so we're driving, and I'm so happy. So I just tell him, I say, yeah, I'm about to tell you something. Knowing I should have kept my mouth shut, but he just seemed so cool. So I told him, I was like, yeah. So the official one for the UK didn't come. He said, no, I saw the seal. I said, that was for the European Union. That wasn't for the UK. He said, oh, really? I said, yeah. I said, that was just a digital copy that I had printed out for the UK. I said, the one for the UK didn't arrive in time, but I only got the one for the European Union in time. Oh, he bust out laughing. He was like, oh, it's okay. You should have just told me. I said, okay, cool. Cool. He was like, but he was like, he has everything. It's okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. Right. So we got to the Eurotunnel. Now I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I thought the Eurotunnel was a bridge over the channel. Okay. Over the part of the sea that separates France from the UK, and I'm so excited because y'all know I'm a history junkie. And when I went and did my research and was looking, I was like, oh, wow, this is where, they sent the ships over to get the Allied forces. Like, oh, this is that area. Like, okay, cool. So cool. Like, so I'm thinking we're taking a bridge. When it says tunnel, I was thinking a bridge over the sea. So I'm asking the guy, I'm like, oh, like, it's the view. Like, we have a view? And he was like, no, it's not a view. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, probably, probably don't want people, getting out taking pictures and stuff. This is what I'm thinking, y'all. This is what I'm thinking. I didn't even did my due diligence on this tunnel. I just knew it was the fastest way to cross. Now, the alternative way that you can cross with a pet is with on a ferry, all right? Because I was thinking about driving initially, and I was like, okay, well, we'll take the ferry. No. we're taking this Eurotunnel. So the guy's like, yeah, we drive into a train. And then the train goes under the water. So Renee is from Slovakia. His English is great. I know I'm not misunderstanding this man, but my brain was not rich. I said, we're going under the water? He said, yeah, you get in the train and then the train takes you under the water. Yeah, yep, I started Googling, because what the hell he's talking about? So I'm like, under the water? Anyway, child, I look it up. The Eurotunnel, this train, we roll inside the train. When we roll inside the train, they stop the car, they turn the car off. The car is you put the car emergency brake on, and you roll the windows down because you can't have the car running. There's bathroom on there. I think there's a space you can go and sit and eat or something. I don't know. I didn't even get out. A, I was exhausted. B, my baby was asleep. C, what the hell? What the hell, Leontay? I was like, what? So we're in the tunnel, and I Googled this. I'm put the picture up so y'all can see, because I'm tripped out at this point. Janai's asleep, so she doesn't know that we went under the sea to get here. Literally, okay? We literally went under the sea to get here for this dog, right? And I'm like, this is crazy, you know? this is crazy. So the train doesn't go underwater. It goes down under the seabed and goes under, and then it comes out on the other side. And so there's 3 tunnels. One tunnel is designated for the trains to go from England to France. The other tunnel is from France to England. The other tunnel is a maintenance tunnel, and for maintenance and ventilation in emergencies, okay? Y'all say, Kitty be doing shit. Kitty really be doing shit, y'all. Really be doing shit. Long story short, we came out on the other side of the tunnel in Folkestone, England, and it was about a 2-hour ride from there to the house. And we got here to the house. That's what happened. We got here, and it was like, my baby was so frustrated. She said, when I came back from Dada's house, I just wanted to go in my room and get in my bed. But then I remembered I didn't have a room. I didn't have a bed. She was so tired. She was like, I'm just so tired. I was like, oh, my poor baby. So then I'm like, all right, I got one child situated. I got Jax here. So then like my energy shifted. I was like, I need to at least make sure my baby feels comfortable. It's already like a crazy situation. It's a really crazy situation. Her dad acquired a girlfriend. And so she done spent the summer with her dad and his new girlfriend. Same time, I acquired a boyfriend. And it's like, you know, all of this stuff is new. Like, she's had so many changes. And I'm just thinking to myself, I just need to get my baby settled. So this is my new thought process. So all of her stuff was shipped over from her room, and her bed was ordered. So the mattress ended up arriving because my honey moved in on Friday. And then on Saturday, the mattress came, but he was trying to wait around because they said they possibly would deliver it up until 8 o'clock on Saturday, but they didn't. So the bed is scheduled to arrive today. So he was just like, oh man. So I'm telling him like, you know, my baby is upset or whatever. He was like, all I got is a mattress. And I'm like, it's cool. Y'all know her. You know, she was sleeping on the floor before. So I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, but I have all the other stuff. Like I got all her Hello Kitty, all her Squishmallows and plushies, and all her lip gloss and arts and crafts stuff, and her curtains. And I have all the stuff for her room to at least make it feel like her room, you know, and like, she just wanted her own space back. So she's on the 3rd floor. It's 3 floors. She's on the 3rd floor. There's a guest room. She has her own bathroom. So she does have her own space back, you know. She does have that. And just even like after we got in and we got her bed made, and because she had picked out some new sheets and stuff. So once we got her bed made and you know, put all her pillows and squishmallows, and I kind of like decorated like the windowsills with like her books and some stuff, then she was better. So she still has more stuff that we're waiting to arrive, like furniture pieces, like book. We're gonna go actually get the go to IKEA to get bookshelves, and I ordered her a vanity. So like we have like more things, but at least she's comfortable now in her room. I made sure I packed like her favorite foods and stuff like that, and he like picked up groceries and stuff so we could like get settled. So this is literally, I don't know if this counts as day one of us all being here, but this where we're at. I brought my coffee maker with me. I brought my coffee maker with me in my suitcase because they said the flight was full, so they went ahead and they told us to check our what do you call it? Check our bags and our carry-ons. So I was like, okay, cool, because my Keurig was going into the last box that was gonna be shipped, and I said, I put the thing right in my suitcase. I said, nope, we're gonna take it with us. We are taking it with us, because now instead of having 2 50-pound bags, we now have 4 50-pound bags. And it was on. So it worked out. We got everything. I am not gonna do a lot today. I am gonna try and like start working my way through some boxes, but I'm gonna start that in another vlog or whatever, because this one is gonna be really long as it is. So I'm gonna start that in another vlog. I also feel like, so that's it. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. The journey is already starting off interesting. Until next time, bye.